Hello faithful viewers, welcome back to another review. This time we're looking at the Transformers Universe 2008 Cyclonus. Now I've covered a Cyclonus on the channel already, that being the most recent release for Kingdom Voyager class. And this deluxe, well, came out in 2008, and as Cyclonuses go, it is another banger of a figure. Now this is a deluxe version, so it is obviously smaller than the Voyager one that we looked at previously, and you can see that there are some noticeable differences from the get-go. They do not share any molds, by the way. They are completely, separate from one another. You'll notice that it comes with like a Target Master accessory as well. We'll cover him in a second, but first of all, let's just take a look at the figure proper. So this version of Cyclonus, he is cast in this darker, deeper royal purple, as opposed to conventional Cyclonuses, who are kind of like this lighter shade, this lilac almost kind of colour. Personally, I do prefer Cyclonuses as close as they are to their like cartoon colour, so the lighter shade of purple I kind of prefer. However, this shade of purple, ironically enough, is my favourite shade of purple, so I guess I can't have it both ways. All I'm saying is a lighter shade I think suits Cyclonus a little bit better. Now this jet mode, it's not perfect, it's good. Don't get it wrong, it's good, but it's not perfect, compared, and I'm going to be comparing it to the Kingdom one all throughout because it is like the new standard, but this used to be. So this jet mode, it's solid enough, but I think where it falls apart is this back section here. It's very gappy. Now the newer one, it's all very solid, it's all very clean, it's all very flush. This, I like the textures going on here for what will end up being the legs. It's kind of, like it's very Thruster-like, I suppose. Yeah, I like what's going on here, but I don't like all of this gappiness between the legs and the thrusters. There's even gap in the wings there. It just comes across a little bit messy, unfortunately. And of course, he does have his feet sticking out the back there. You can't even claim that they are thrusters because he literally has thrusters right there. So that's a little bit disappointing. But the front end of the figure, is pretty nice. You've got this nice translucent red for the windows there, the cockpit. You've got some nice red detailing along the side of the fuselage there. You've got kind of guns moulded into the nose cone. It's a bit of a peculiar look, but it's interesting enough as it is. And then you've got a pointy nose cone. You keep having the rare to reappear along the wings as well. Flip to the underside. I mean, it's not. I was going to say it's not really obvious what becomes what, but then when you do really focus on him, you can kind of suss it out because there's his head hiding, looking away from us. There the legs, see, and there the arms. So it doesn't do a brilliant job at hiding where all robot mode gif gaff goes, unfortunately. And you can see that's the chest, but we'll cover that again in a little bit. Here's landing gear that pops out. It is just solid. There's no wheels that roll, unfortunately. So, he just props himself up like that. So for vehicle mode, it's not the best. It's passable, but a future figure does it a lot better. Putting him to the side, let's have a look at the accessory, for lack of a better term. This is a Target Master, or Minicon if you like, because let's be fair, there isn't much difference at this point. This is Nightstick, I do believe, and he turns into a pistol of sorts. I don't know if it's meant to be triple barreled, but these things on here could be taken as sights, I suppose. Or triple barreled, whatever. And as you would expect, Target Master, Minicon, whatever you want to call them, there's not a lot of detail going on here, and it's a very simplistic transformation. You want to just bring them down, you want to bring that back, just plugs the handle itself. It's like a Minicon port, and it just plugs in through that gap there, and then you can roll the feet down like that, and he is literally done. It's a tiddly little thing, but it's cool. I suppose he's got nice red eyes. He does have like rivets along his torso, nice purple and black and grey. So, he's full of colour for what he is. In terms of articulation, he can swivel his arms like that. He can bend his arms 90. He can forward kick, very good. Got a bit of toe wiggle waggle for transformation, nothing up the head. Just, it's bog standard, basically. Not a lot to talk about in terms of him really. So let's roll him back into his gun mode. Just like that, easy peasy. For vehicle mode weapon storage, if we just put Cyclonus back in focus, he can plug right in above the cockpit like that. And that looks ludicrous. Why the hell would you want to do that? Get out of here. Right, transformation. First of all, let's fold up this landing gear back in just like that. I will say, as Cyclonuses go, the engineering on this figure, just on the whole in terms of transformation, is remarkably clever. Now, the Kingdom one is also remarkably clever, but this, again, set the standard back in the day. So, what we want to be doing for a start is just disconnecting the arms from the back right there like that. You'll notice they are on elaborate hinges. So just for now, let's rotate all of this up and out of the way like that so we can focus on the, quite frankly, marvellous leg engineering. I do have a soft spot for the way that this transforms. It's very unique. Unclip these here, and let's bring them down like pincer claws and snap them together. That is so cool. That is so cool. Love that. I would actually rate this guy's leg engineering better than the Kingdom ones in that regards. It's just so inventive. Bringing that down, snapping them like that, and then splaying the feet open. That's really clever. That's really clever, Hasbro. Well done. Well done. Now, continuing to look at the top of the figure, let's keep these arms rotated and let's just plug them into the side of the torso like this. Then let's unclip the wings like this, and just like the Kingdom figure, let's double hinge them back behind the shoulders like that. Then let's pull down the arms, just like that. You'll notice it's disconnecting itself a lot. That's a bit of a QC issue with this guy. And then you want to be rolling the hands out like that. Either use your nail and dig into this little bit here, or if you want, push on the thruster, and that'll help the fist roll out a little bit more. And then if you're still struggling when you've got the fist out at least that far, then you could stick something into that fist at least. Notice how his other fist, when we get it out, does not have the ability to hold anything in it. So this Cyclonus certainly is a right-handed Decepticon. And then for the head reveal, again, this has similarities to the Kingdom figure. I think the Kingdom figure, the way it hides the nose cone is a lot better, but this is still good. So take this entire section, fold it back. We want to be rotating the head 180. And then use this lever on the nose cone to push the very tip of it in. And then rotate and rotate and rotate. I'm getting very Viacon vibes from that. And it all just stores nice and neatly away inside the torso. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Universe Cyclonus fully transformed into a very lanky robot mode. Very, very lanky indeed. I don't know really what they were going for in terms of this. I don't know really if Cyclonus had many representations before this. The G1's version specifically I'm talking about. The only other Cyclonus that might have existed before this guy, not counting Armada of course, might have actually been the G1 version. So for a first modern update, you know, this is rather excellent. Honestly, again, I'll keep saying it, it doesn't hold a candle to the new version, but for the time at least, this is brilliant. And it's a very, very solid robot mode. So if we zoom in and take a look at that noggin, very nicely detailed head. He's got the bunny ear thing that Cyclonus does have in G1 naturally. He has nice red eyes. It is light piping. That is beautiful light piping. Very nicely done indeed. Continuing down the figure, proportion-wise, again, he's lanky, but, you know, he's symmetrical and he's good at least. If you have a nice silver Decepticon symbol on his torso, nice kind of rib detailing there. Well, I say rib, I mean abs. Nice ab detailing, I suppose, with the silver and the red on his, just above his crotch, rather. You know, nice distorted arms. And again, very thin upper legs, thin legs in general. This is what gives him his whole lankiness about him. Something I have in common with him, I suppose. But overall, you know, detailing, very nice. And I like the breakup of purple with the grey and the red. You know, very nice. And if we rotate him to his back, you know, kibble management also, very nice. He has the wings on the back of his shoulders, but then that is just Cyclonus' shtick, so that can't be helped. But the wave of the nose cone and everything else just hides away is very good indeed. For articulation, Cyclonus' head can rotate 360 degrees, but there is nothing else. There is no upward look, there is no downward look. In terms of the shoulders, they can rotate 360 degrees as well. He can spray his arms out a good, I suppose, 90 if you like. He has a 90-degree bend at the elbow. He can rotate them 360 degrees at the elbow, and then there is, unfortunately, nothing at the wrists. There is no waist movement either, which is disappointing, but he has a beautiful spread. He can kick his leg out that far, kick it back that far, bend at the knee 90 degrees. He has an upper leg rotation of 360 degrees, and then he has toe and heel wiggle. So overall articulation is fantastic. Just turning our attention very quickly to how you can utilize Nightstick with the robot mode itself. Obviously, I've mentioned before in terms of his hands, he's got a cutout in his right hand and nothing in the left, so he can hold Nightstick via, the gun grip like that, and have it as a conventional gun. But also, if you like, fold his hand away and look at the thruster itself, and you'll notice there is kind of a cutout there. And there just so happens to be a rectangular tab on Nightstick's arse, so slap that in there as well. Whatever way you want, I suppose, although the tab is a particular direction. And if you so desire, you can have Cyclonus, in concept, transforming his hand into a gun. Personally, I think it looks slightly better with him actually holding Nightstick as a gun, but that's a valid option if you so desire. For a size comparison using the figures I've got on hand, here he is next to Beast Wars Cheetor, Beast Wars Quick Strike, and the KO Megatron Black Mamba. So closing thoughts on this Cyclonus then. I think it is a very wonderful figure, all things considered. Yes, he doesn't hold a candle to the Kingdom version that came out a couple years back, but if you can't get a Kingdom version, then by all means get this version. He is so fun to play with. His transformation is so well engineered. Yes, proportionally he's a little bit lanky, but, doesn't detract from the overall quality of this figure, and the overall quality is wonderful. This one in particular does have a few tabbing issues where the shoulders are concerned, but it's not enough to detract from him in the long run. He comes with a nice little playability gimmick via Nightstick, and just overall he is a very fun time indeed. So I have no issues whatsoever with recommending this Cyclonus to you. Get him or the Kingdom one if you like. Personally, as I keep saying, I think the Kingdom one is better, but this one is such fun as well. Definitely recommend. Thank you everybody so much for stopping by and checking out this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share it around to help out the channel. And until the next time, see you all later.